Hi, everybody. Thanks for getting on the webinar. I'm so happy to have such a large group of FITs that we will be training this spring. It's definitely a very exciting time for the Girls Academy program. As I'm sure you have already listened or participated in the facilitator webinar, I'm going to exclude some of the nitty-gritty details with regards to this program. My goal through this webinar is to help you understand your resources, expectations, and to prepare you to be the best facilitator and training possible. So you were all chosen to be a fit for a reason. We believe that your skills make you the perfect facilitator for this life-changing CAPA education program. Before we get in too far into the webinar, I do want to apologize for it not being in full slideshow mode. For some reason, it's not working. I already recorded this once and it did not seem to like me, and it was not showing you the slides as we go through. So I'm hoping this time, just being in the small version, it will work. Okay. So as you can see, the agenda and the objective for today, we're going to teach you a lot of things through this very quick webinar. And there's today's agenda. So we will discuss everything from the locations to the roles and responsibilities of both the FIT and the facilitator, even as far into your travel arrangements. So we're going to go through everything that you see there. We have 7 locations for this spring for Girls Academy events and 9 next fall. My goal will be to match each of you to a location in the fall, dependent upon your availability, when the chapter and association are hosting, and what locations at what times are going to be hosting. We currently have about 20 Girls Academy facilitators, and that worked just fine when we had 3 to 4 Girls Academies happening each year or even semester. But now that we're going to have between 15 to 18 Girls Academy events each academic year, we just need more facilitators. So that's why there's such a large group of you participating in the FIT program this spring. This program has truly just blown up with interest, and I'm so excited about that. So as of now, training for our new facilitators is more shadowing based. We do not have a formal training program. It is something that I'm working on creating at the moment, but we are going to have you do the shadowing as well as participate in a few of webinars, such as the one that we're doing currently. And then your primary point of learning for this program is going to be the shadowing that you will do at the event, and then potentially the pre-training if you are able to be there. I do want you to realize that you need to be treated as if you are a facilitator at the event, but you don't have the responsibility of being a facilitator. You will be there to really learn how to facilitate this program and become familiar with the curriculum. We do want you to really be an expert with the curriculum by the time you're finished. You're not intended to be there as event staff, so you really shouldn't be running errands or doing anything that a lead facilitator wouldn't do. Chapters are expected to be prepared for this program, so they shouldn't be doing any last minute things. They have asked FITs in the past to go to Walmart and go do this and go do that. Please feel free to say no if you are asked to do that. You are there to learn. I can't stress that enough. So we also want you to shadow both facilitators while you're there, not just hang out with one or the other. The goal would be to really determine through this experience whether you would like the lead 1 role better or the lead 2 role better. Some people do this experience and come out and say they're indifferent. They could do both and they would be comfortable doing both. And others, after being a fit, think that this is no longer an opportunity they're willing to continue with. They love the program, but after seeing middle school girls in action, it's just not something that they think best suits their skills, which is completely fine. So continue to keep this in the back of your mind as you are going through the weekend. What do I want to be when I finish? Do I want to be the lead 1? Do I want to be the lead 2? And what best speaks to me? Your facilitators at this event should also be helping you navigate that conversation. So if you need to talk to them, about either of the positions, or want more info, please feel free to ask them as well. Additionally, you really should be on all communication that the chapter and association are having with the lead facilitators and vice versa. You're going to be expected to be on the other end of that communication next semester, so we want to make sure that you know what that should look like. So I'm sure you already know that you were selected for this opportunity for a reason, but we want our facilitators to possess most of the qualities that are on this PowerPoint screen right now. You are expected to be organized and have great communication skills. And this program does require a fair amount of adaptability. Again, you're working with a large number of people and middle school aged girls. So while the program is truly laid out to the minute, some things don't work, and we realize that. So you have to continue to make sure that you have your problem solving hat on, and they really do keep you on your toes. So be mindful of that and continue to watch for those things as you're at the event. You will see job descriptions for each lead position when I take you through the Kappa Cloud. It's a really good idea to read through those thoroughly. It really lays out exactly what the lead 1 is supposed to do and exactly what the lead 2 is supposed to do, and that will definitely help prepare you before you go in for the actual event. So facilitators do play an integral part in making sure that a Girls Academy event is successful. There is one of me, and there are 17 Girls Academy events. So each facilitator being involved with their event is really helpful. You're truly not just there to show up for the weekend of activities or just show up for the training. You're really supposed to help keep the association and the chapter on track and continually check in with that chapter. So this could range from check-ins with phone calls through a webinar or email, but it should also encompass the basic planning behind it, making sure they have secured a school, making sure that they're checking in and raising the amount of money that they need, all of those things. So again, while you're going to hear a lot of the details repeated, it's really important that you know those details because that helps with the planning aspect of these events. Lead 1 will do the pre-training for the group, and that happens about 3 weeks prior to the actual event. However, both facilitators will do the Friday night training. So during the actual weekend, the facilitator's role is to really be the power that be. They know the ins and outs of the program and the material, and they're also there to be a mentor and a leader to the association and chapter women. So they should be able to answer almost any question that is thrown their way. And if they don't know the answer, they should have the resources in order to find the answer. My goal is to get you to a point where you are comfortable saying everything that I just said and knowing where your resources are and being that mentor and being that leader for all of these chapter and association women who are looking to you for answers. So continue, again, to keep your eyes and ears open when you're at this event because you will get some questions that you may not have seen before. And so utilizing them as a resource is going to be really helpful. After the event, the actual weekend event is over, the role of a facilitator is not over, so your role as a fit is also not over. You're expected to stay in touch with the chapter and ensure that their mentoring opportunity happens after the Girls Academy event concludes. You can check in with them via email or phone or however you want to do it, but you just need to make sure that the mentoring event does happen. You as a fit and the women that are participating as actual facilitators, they do not have to be there for the mentoring activity. We just want to ensure that it actually gets completed. Meals and housing. All meals will be covered by the Chapter and Alumna Association. They are not covered by headquarters unless you're traveling during actual meal time. We do ask that they provide reasonable accommodations for you, but they are not required to put you in a hotel. So you could end up staying at a local alum's house, or you may end up staying at the chapter house, but they do know that they are expected to provide reasonable accommodations. During the actual weekend activities, you will stay at the school with the chapter women and with the participants. So we do have a number of resources available to you. I recommend that you become very familiar with these resources. The Kappa website in Girls Academy or under Girls Academy has a number of resources for event preparation as well as reimbursement information. And then I've also done something new this year and have put additional information on the Kappa Cloud. Each of you have access to the Kappa Cloud as of a couple of weeks ago. If you have not gotten onto the Kappa Cloud, I do advise that you do that. The cloud is cloud.kappa-kappa-gamma.org. And we are going to actually, I'm going to show you all of the information where you can find that on the cloud now. Again, if you have not been on the cloud, I do ask that you get on the cloud. You'll see this main Kappa cloud when you log in, and then you'll go to main cloud. Scroll down, and you'll see Girls Academy Facilitators. This folder has these folders embedded within it, and there are a number of really important details and really important documents within this folder. So curriculum and training, this has all of the curriculum, all of the pre-training, the PowerPoint, everything that you could need is in this folder. The PowerPoint, something special about it, it is too large to actually open through the Kappa Cloud. It's also too large to email because all of the videos that are within the program are embedded in this PowerPoint. So I ask that when you are trying to look at this, you right click and maybe, hang on, of course it won't work for me now. Oh, what the heck? There we go. And you press download. So this download will then put it wherever your downloads drop to. So whether that's a downloads folder, your desktop, wherever, but then you will be able to open it through your actual PowerPoint program because it's now onto your desktop. I advise that you get a USB drive and that you have that with your USB, flash drive, CD, whatever you want to take with you. But I advise that you have that with you so that you are also able to access it should for some reason the computer not play nice when you're at your actual Girls Academy event. Additionally, you'll see all of the curriculum videos here. Please watch those. It's important that you're not seeing it for the first time when you get to the event. All of the evaluations are here. The event staff materials, this is also a really important folder to be in. One of the biggest things within it is the event planning timeline. This will, again, tell you what the chapter and association are supposed to have done. And so when you are looking at that, you know when you need to check in with the association or when you need to check in with your chapter to make sure you get all of the information planned and are ready to go for your event. The event guide is also really important. Again, we'll talk about it being one of the most important documents of this actual event. So please make sure you've seen it as well. Facilitator guidelines, like I said earlier, the job descriptions, lead 1 is the top description, lead 2 is the bottom description. Very important again, you need to read these before you actually get there because it will show you exactly what lead 1 and lead 2 should be doing and the timeline and the time frame that they should have done it in. And then the last folder is the leadership fair. Again, all of the materials you'll need for the leadership fair. We do have the SMART goals in here twice. Reason for that being that Publisher does not play nice on a Mac. So we have the PDF here. If you do have access to Publisher, open the SMART goals in Publisher because it looks a little bit nicer. And that way you can see exactly what the girls are going to receive as well. So that is all of the information that's on the cloud. Again, if you don't have access to the cloud, please make sure that you talk to me about it because I want to make sure that you have all of these resources. It's really important that you're able to look through all of these in advance. So now we're going to go back to our PowerPoint and hopefully this shows you the resources tab. So next we're going to talk more about the program. Again, you probably will have heard a lot of this information, but it doesn't hurt to hear it twice. The overall funding expectations would be that each chapter and association are expected to raise a total of $4,900 in order to host. Everyone has already submitted at least a $500 deposit. There are some chapters that have been offered funding assistance. So if you hear your chapter talking about that, it is truly a thing. They can apply to receive up to $2,000 towards their event. Not every chapter is selected. We actually have a maximum number that we're allowed to select for that each year, but it is something that is there. So the most that a funding assistance chapter hopefully will have to raise is $2,900. The deposit that each of these chapters and associations submit when they apply is counted towards their fundraising goals. So most chapters and alumni associations just need to raise $4,400. Keep in mind that some chapters have the ability to just write a check because they either budgeted for it or because they have such large overhead because of the size of their chapter, they don't need to fundraise. Whereas other chapters are fundraising every penny for this event to happen. So please make sure that you're talking with the chapter and your lead facilitators to know what your specific chapter and association are doing. Money is due 60 days before their event. If they don't have their money in, they're not going to be permitted to host. In semesters past, we have deferred them to a future semester, but because this program is just becoming too popular, we can't move them any longer because they would essentially be taking somebody else's spot. Any money that they will have raised, should we have to cancel, will be donated to the foundation to the General Girls Academy Fund. The chapter and association know this when they accept their spot into their program, so there shouldn't really be any questions with that. Additionally, the chapter and association are expected to provide food, snacks, drinks, etc. for their program. This is not included in their $4,900 and is not reimbursable by headquarters. Most of the chapters and associations do their due diligence and can get these things donated, but they do have to plan in advance. So please be working with them to make sure that they understand this as well. It did used to be included in the funding, but everybody wanted something different, and it was all in different price ranges, and it just was not easy to keep track of, nor did it really seem to be advantageous for the chapter. It seemed to be more of a headache. So they are responsible for doing that. Chapters and associations can track their funding on the CAPA website. Any donation that is made online will be reflected immediately in their percentage raised. Any check that is sent to the foundation will not be immediately reflected, but it will be added to their total raised, and hopefully within a week or two, they'll see their percent raise online as well. You can track the funding through the link that I have here. I'm going to go back over to Google Chrome and we'll go to the CAPA website. So all you have to do is type kappa-kappa-gamma.org. We all know that. Go to the education piece. And over on the right-hand side, you will see Girls Academy. If you click on it, this is where you can find a lot of those other resources that I said that you can find throughout the website. But in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see Donate to Girls Academy. Each of these links are live links. They are also public links. So if you have parents or friends or whomever it may be that are interested in donating to a Girls Academy cause, they can click on the school and the cause that they want to support and donate directly through our link right here online. Something new, this is also an opportunity for you to see how a chapter is doing on fundraising without having to ask the chapter. So you can log on and say, oh, Emory University is at 94% total. They only have a couple more $100 to go. Or Michigan is at 0. We have a lot more money that we need to go. And so that's a good way of you being able to keep track of what needs to be donated still without having to bug the chapter. So now we're going to go back to the PowerPoint and hopefully it'll be nice again. And we already know a lot of the demographics with regards to Girls Academy. We know that it needs to be middle school girls ages or grades 6th to 8th grade. Chapters and associations in the past have not adhered to that. So please make sure that you're keeping track of that and that the school that they're hosting with is hosting 6th to 8th graders. If for some reason we're not hosting in that age range, please let me know and I can see what we can do. Sometimes we'll approve it, but it really does change the curriculum. And oftentimes, if we're hosting any younger, they're not understanding what we're talking about. There is a maximum of 50 participants with this program, no more and really no less. We've run it with more before, and it really just did a disservice to the program. So we don't want to have that happen. So 50 is our cap. Our chapter women will serve as the small group facilitators. Lead 1 and Lead 2 will serve as the large group facilitators, and then you will be there to oversee the entire thing and just watch it unfold. We do ask that facilitators ensure that they have Wi-Fi or internet access so that they can access the Kappa Cloud and any materials that they may need online. Schools do block a lot of websites, so that's also something to keep in mind, especially as a fit as well. A school administrator does need to be on site at all times. If for some reason a school administrator is not on site or cancels last minute or whatever, please call me immediately because we will need to talk through some various options. Additionally, parents really do get confused with this event, especially if you are in a school or hosting at a school where there is language barrier. Sometimes they don't understand that it's an overnight experience. So please reiterate that when they're checking their child in the morning on Saturday. It's also really important to know all of the materials that the school and that the parents get so that if there are questions, you can appropriately answer those questions. Important pre-event details that you need to know. Essentially, these are the 3 big chunks, but all of the materials for the event are going to be shipped to the chapter or association prior to the program. This gets sent to them weeks in advance, and the chapter will have provided the person's name that it gets sent to. So the chapter is responsible for checking to make sure that they have all of the materials that they need. They can do this through the packing list that is sent with it, also by checking the curriculum and the event guide. It is their responsibility to check because I am human and I do make mistakes. And if they don't check before Friday night when you're doing your Friday night training, I'm not sure I can do a whole lot to get you the things that you need. So please make sure that as a fit, you are recognizing that those are things that have to be done in advance. Pre-training, we've talked about this, but it's 3 weeks before the Girls Academy event. Just the Lead 1 goes and the local fit. If there is a Lead 2 that is local, she can attend as well, but she is not required to. Really, just the Lead 1 is needed to be there. It is a full day training. It's about 6 hours, and everybody needs to be involved that will be involved with the Girls Academy event. Friday night training is also essential. Everyone should be at it as well. Really no exceptions with it. And it is anywhere between 3 and 4 hours as well. So it's a late Friday night. Biggest thing with Girls Academy, and I can't really stress it enough, is to follow the event guide literally to the minute. All 28 hours of the event is mapped out, and it's imperative that you're following that. Event staff is responsible for knowing what supplies need to go where and when they're needed. They're also responsible for knowing if a chapter needs to purchase supplies outside of what I sent to you. RC cars, the batteries, they don't come with the cars when I send them to you. So the chapter does need to buy those. Just things like that. Also, the chapter and association women are supposed to be planning Saturday night activities for the girls to participate in. Things in the past have been games or karaoke or dance party or sing-alongs. All of those are great ideas, but being fits, you may have new and exciting ideas. Please feel free to share those with the chapter and the association as well as the lead facilitators. You haven't seen the program before, so it definitely is something that you may be able to offer a new perspective on. Last thing I want to cover tonight is travel. For those of you that need flights, you can contact Diane. Her email is right there, diane@centurytvl.com. For those of you that don't need flights, disregard. However, we do ask that you hold off on booking your flights until you have confirmed your Girls Academy events like 85 times. You would be surprised how many times the dates or whatever are thrown up in the air because they are confused as to whether or not they are actually hosting on the weekend they had confirmed with me. So please confirm that. And then also, even after you've confirmed, don't book more than about 5 weeks prior to the event, because again, we do recognize that things happen, schools back out last minute, chapters aren't able to reach their fundraising goals, etc. And we do eat flight cancellation fees if you're not flying on Southwest when an event is canceled. Additionally, if you have to park at the airport, we do reimburse you for that, so just let me know. If you're local, you will participate in both the pre-training and the actual event. We've discussed that multiple times, and you will get reimbursed for your mileage both ways, both times. So please make sure that you submit a requisition form for that. You can submit 2 requisition forms, one for the pre-training, one for the actual event. I'm fine with that. Just let me know how you want to do it, and I will get all of the information processed so that we get you out a check. Okay, I think that really covers the big picture of this program. It really is important that you familiarize yourself with the curriculum, the leadership fair materials, the event guide, everything that's on that Kappa Cloud. You should really know front and back. I can't stress that enough. It is important that you read all of the materials in their entirety as well. This is not just a time where we are just skimming things. Definitely read through it. I'm sure you will come across questions, and when you do, let me know. I'd rather that you come across those questions now and me be able to walk you through it. That way we can eliminate any confusion rather than you see this for the first time when you show up on Friday night for a training. I do recognize that a lot of this information was given in the webinar that we gave to facilitators a couple weeks ago, but it is important that you hear it multiple times so that you understand the overarching details of the program. You will be surprised how many times you will be asked the same question by chapter women, and I don't want you to feel underprepared just because I said it maybe just once and you didn't catch it. So definitely something that you should be familiarizing yourself with, especially the funding, because your chapter women will have a lot of questions about that. If you think there's anything that I didn't cover or that I didn't cover enough or elaborate upon enough, please let me know. Even if you just have additional questions, let me know. I'm more than willing to connect with each of you on a one-on-one basis. My email is there on the screen. If it's something that is more than a one-on-one basis, or you think that it would benefit multiple people, I'm more than happy to do an additional webinar, send out a mass email, whatever you want. I'm good with. I'm here to be flexible, and I'm here to be a resource for you as well. So please feel free to reach out if you come across any of those questions or concerns. I think that's all that I have for now. I hope you all have a safe and happy holiday season, and I'm sure I will be talking to you right after the beginning of the new year. All right, everybody, have a great evening. Bye.